Professor Leon MFKC Black Pressure. Can you guys hear me okay? You guys can hear me okay. Just give me a little hand signal. Let me know that everything the actual okay. Good to see. Good to see. I'm glad to have you guys tonight. In case you guys don't know, we're gonna be talking about Senator Tommy Tuberville. We're gonna be talking about Nury Martinez and that anti-black racist rants that they have going on. In case you guys didn't know, Nury Martinez also went ahead and resigned. She stepped down after the pressure came about people trying to get her up out of there with the BS comments she was making about the black child. So yeah, man, it's been a lot going on over the weekend. I hope everybody had a good weekend. We got up with you guys on Saturday. We had us a pretty nice space Saturday for you guys that weren't able to make it. I appreciate you guys that did come out. You can always catch that recording. We did go ahead and recorded it live. So just want to say what's up to everybody in the house. Y'all go ahead and make sure y'all go ahead and send out the link as well. I'm already sending out. Y'all go ahead and send out the link. Leon, you got your hand up. Go ahead and unmute your mic. What's going on, man? You're a little bit, you kind of really low, Leon. If you could speak up a little bit louder. Oh, okay. Because I heard that she was stepping down, but I did not know she was gonna be. I thought she was resigning altogether. So this is this is not the greatest news in the world. If you stepping down, then you need to be relieved of all your powers, not just some of it, but you need to have everything stripped for what she said, because she was going in. She was talking some serious noise up here. Black Native, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, what's up, Newstoter? Thank you for holding this space. Yeah, I heard the audio about maybe 3 hours ago. I heard the audio. It was her. It was 2 other Hispanics, and it looks like it was an Indian guy. All 4 of them was in a racist conversation, talking about, I guess, some white guy who had adopted a black child, and was saying the black child didn't know how to act. She was on the floor. She felt like, beating his ass and, all this stuff. But I thought she stepped down. And they're trying to go after the other 3 that were on that supposedly private phone call that they had with each other. But you're saying, what is she part of the reparations task force? I hope that's not what you're saying right now.
No, she's part of what they talk about, the LA County Federation of Labor. So no, she doesn't have any affiliation with the reparations itself.
Okay, good. Yeah, she doesn't need to, but she should be fired. The other 3 racist men that were on that call with her also need to be terminated. They're apologizing, saying that they all were under distress or they all had a bad day. And so that's the reason why they had a conversation calling a little black boy a monkey and talking about how she wanted to lay hands on him. So she shouldn't have no job waiting for her, nothing. She needs to be completely terminated. She shouldn't still be able to hold any kind of office in the state of California. And the other three guys all.
We lost you 1 second there, sister. You still there? Yeah.
Yeah, my mother was calling in. The so-called Brown Coalition, her and the other three guys, 2 of them I know were Mexican and one I think was from India, I believe. So this is the brown and black fake ass coalition that they've been shoving down our throats for years. There is no brown and black coalition. And I mean, they show you every day. So yeah, all of them need to be terminated. Not just her, the other racist that was in that call as well. And I'll end on that.
If y'all get a chance, check up in the Jumbotron, because for the actual titles of the room tonight, Tommy Tuberville and Nury Martinez, we have them in the actual Jumbotron. So definitely go ahead and check out that. We have them both in the Jumbotron for everybody that's in the Twitter space tonight. So make sure you check that out. If you guys have not read the actual articles, Go ahead and click through and read those articles, and you'll just see exactly the kind of nonsense that these people are spouting off right here. Between Tommy Tuberville, a U.S. senator, used to be a college head football coach, Nury Martinez, she's apologetic now because she got caught talking all kind of nonsense. Professor, go ahead and unmute your mic, and you can speak on either topic.
Of course, Newstoter, thank you for holding this space, man. This is a good topic, great interest in this because, as most of you probably know, Auburn is the school I went to. So Tommy Tuberville is a coach that I would know personally because I met him. And of course, Auburn University itself, I follow quite a bit because that's where my money went. But and still some of my money goes there, even to this day. So, but Tommy Tuberville, head football coach at Auburn from 1999 to 2008. He was one of the all-time winningest coaches at Auburn. He was the guy that beat Alabama for 7 straight years, so this is what he's known for. But as we see, he made some racist remarks, and he of course has not apologized for it. And of course, I'm hoping that we can hear more of the players that was on his 2014, because that's what they've been talking about here in the news. That 2014 was his best team at the time at Auburn, and of course, all the players that were on that team that made that team special were black. Every player at Auburn that's ever made Auburn special has been black, which is the case at all these major schools. So for these coaches to come and say something like that, I really think a lot of these black guys should consider, these black athletes should consider going to HBCUs. That's one of the things that I'm definitely going to talk about too while we're in this space.
Definitely. I appreciate you, brother, as always. We're gonna keep it going tonight, keep it flowing and everything. So, like I say, for anybody that has not hasn't really paid attention to the news out there in LA, you got this and I guess she's Latino, Mexican, or whatever she is, Nury Martinez, her and a bunch of other council people. It just wasn't her as well. A bunch of other ones are sitting up there talking all kind of noise and stuff as well too. And out here in good old Alabama, in the deep South, like you say, Tommy Tuberville, good old boy, down here in Alabama, went ahead and trying to win brownie points with his base and whatnot. We're gonna take a quick. I just want to touch up briefly on this article that Fox had. And like I say, for everybody that doesn't know, that's in the space tonight. Nury Martinez has resigned, but what Black Native was saying that she resigned, but that she's still almost part of the actual organization he was. Now, how that would happen, I have no idea. I want to check up on that and see exactly too. But if you resign, you're giving up your post. You're supposed to be basically quitting or whatever. So you should have no allegiance or any ties whatsoever to the actual the past position you had. But it says Fox News said, and this was yesterday because, like I say, of course, today we see breaking news. But LA City Council President Nury Martinez faces call to resign after racist remarks emerged in leaked audio. Los Angeles City Council President Nury Martinez is facing calls to step down after leaked audio revealed her making openly racist remarks, including those about a white colleague's young black son. The Los Angeles Times first reported about the audio recording on Sunday, a conversation that happened back in October 2021 between Martinez and council members Gil Cedillo and Kevin D. Leon and LA County Federation of Labor President Ron Herrera, while discussing the redrawing of districts. According to the Times, Martinez criticized another colleague, council member Mike Bonin, who was white, over the parenting of his black son, who she said he treated like an accessory. Martinez remarked on the toddler's behavior during the Martin Luther King Day parade, saying that the float would have tipped over if she and the other woman present didn't step in to parent this kid. They're raising him like a white kid, Martinez said, according to the recording leaked on Reddit. I was like, this kid needs a beat down. Let me take him around the corner, and then I'll bring him back. Martinez also called the child a Spanish term for little monkey. De Leon chimed in, comparing Bonner's handling of the toddler to when Nury brings her little yard bag, a Louis Vuitton bag. Son negrito, like on the side, Martinez added. So I don't know whatever the Spanish is because I didn't take Spanish, even though I live here in Florida. Condemning the comments made by his Latino colleagues, Bonner issued a family statement Sunday. We're appalled, angry, and absolutely disgusted that Nury attacked our son with horrific racist slurs and talked about her desire to physically harm him. Bonner and his partner, yes, he's married to a man, so they're raising, you got two white men raising a black child. Bonner and his partner, Sean Aaron, wrote, it's vile and utterly disgraceful. The city council needs to remove her as council president immediately, and she needs to resign from office. As parents of a black child, we condemn the entirety of the recorded conversation, which displayed a repeated and vulgar anti-black sentiment and coordinated effort to weaken black political representation in Los Angeles. The conversation reveals several layers of contempt for the people of Los Angeles and a clinical, ugly desire to divide the city rather than serve it, the statement added. It's not clear who made or leaked the recording, but seemingly she was being recorded at the time. Martinez also recalled the conversation she had with businessman Danny Bakewell about possibly transferring Los Angeles International Airport out of Bonner's council district and that into the council member Marquise Harris Dawson. The council president said she told Bakewell, go get the airport from this little brother, that little bitch Bonner. Mike Bonner won't effing ever say a peep about Latinos. He'll never say an effing word about us, De Leon added. Martinez also derided Los Angeles County District George Gascon after the group pondered whether he would endorse Cedillo in his re-election campaign against Eunice Hernandez. F that guy. He's with the black, Martinez is heard saying, according to Fox 11 Los Angeles. The conversation also steered toward council member Mark Ridley Thomas' indictment on federal corruption charges, as Martinez said Controller Ron Galperin would decide whether Ridley Thomas would still get paid during his suspension. You need to go talk to that white guy, Martinez says. It's not us. It's the white members on that council that will MF you in a heartbeat. After the Times published its story about the recording, Martinez and De Leon both issued apologies. In a moment of intense frustration and anger, I let the situation get the best of me, and I hold myself accountable for these comments. For that, I'm sorry. The context of this conversation was concern over the redistricting process and concern about the potential negative impact they might have on communities of color. My work speaks for itself. I've worked hard to lead this city through its most difficult time, Martinez said in a statement obtained by Fox 11 Los Angeles. So yeah, this chick, she was talking all kind of nonsense right here. She was talking all kind of noise. She was pretty much going off. She's sitting up here, her and the other dude, De Leon, and the rest of them sitting up here talking about they don't F with Latinos and go ask the white people. You got them up here talking about the little black kid, talking about taking them around the corner. You got women sitting up here talking about beating up on a baby, a 2-year-old black child. So yeah, she was talking major noise. And if it's true what Black Native said, that at the very least, all they're gonna do is just go ahead and she resigns, but she keeps her position or something like that, then something needs to, something seriously needs to be done. But she was talking trash, and the other council members was talking trash as well. And they're up here like so many other different places in the country. They're up here trying to gerrymander and switch these districts and stuff that a lot of these black people are the majority in. And we know it can't be many. We can't be many it can't be many in down in California, but they want to go ahead and gerrymander and switch districts around like they're trying to do up here in Florida with damn Ron DeSantis going back and forth and whatnot. This lady here is talking cash noise. She knows she can talk all this noise and get away with it because she feels that her group is a majority over there in damn Los Angeles. So she's just going in and whatnot. And the fact that now she's sitting up here talking about her record and all what she did and this and that and whatever, and it speaks for itself and people of colors and communities of colors and all this other nonsense, man, they need to go ahead and kick this lady up out of here. Go ahead, Black Native.
Yeah, I keep coming in and out because I don't know what's going on. I can't see anybody in the room. But
but Black Native, before you say this, let me tell everybody that's in the Twitter space, if you guys are having some issues, one thing that I found to help is to actually go and actually get on the web browser, go to Chrome or whatever, and go to Twitter that way, and then join the space. So if you guys having issues on the app, then try the web browser, try Chrome or Firefox or any of those, and it seems like that helps. So if you guys are constantly having help or whatever, just try that and see how that works for you.
Right, yeah, I can't see anybody. I just it's a blank. So the thing with her, which makes her dangerous, is because she was trying to change policies. She was trying to redirect that airport into, I guess, more of a Hispanic area. I'm not sure because I don't know California, but that's what it sounds like when you was reading that article. So she was trying to pretty much shit on black people and help the Hispanic community while shitting on black people. And they got a nerve to say, the brown, black and browns. Then after she got caught with the racist shit, she's trying to say black and brown coalition. No, no. You're a white Hispanic, and the other three guys, I don't know if all of them were Hispanic, but they were brown, but they probably classify themselves as white as well, because that's what they do. And I believe one of them was an Indian, one of the guys that was in that room when they was having this conversation, because some of the like when I was watching the video, yeah, she was speaking in Spanish, so he must have been Spanish, I guess, when she called the little black boy a monkey. But then she gonna try to clean it up, talking about this affects black and brown people. No. Stick to your guns, and she needs to be completely outed, not still holding a space till somebody fills her spot. None of that. She needs to be booted the fuck out. Her and the other three racist gentlemen that was on that call. Yeah. So, and then about the white man whose race was two white men, homosexuals, raising a black child. Okay. Oh Lord Jesus, we need help because we're catching it from every angle. So now you got two white men raising a black child. I wonder what that looks like. What that looks like in the home. Is he seeing these two, going at it? I don't like when they have black children being raised by white people. I'm sorry. I don't like it, and I don't agree with it. It does a lot of mental damage, and not only that, two gay white men. No, they just put our children in any type of setting. They don't give a damn about how our children, what happens to their mental stability. They'll just throw our children into any kind of setting, and we need to stop that. We need to get on board with that. But yeah, that racist ass bitch needs to leave. Her and her crews. And I'm going to land on that and see if I can come in on the Chrome so I can see the people in the room, because I can't see anything right now.
Okay, no problem, sister. Enough. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hello, good evening to the space, to Newstoter. So I seen this video yesterday, and I feel like a lot of California people been telling everyone how bad it is in California and how bad it could get for other states. And I just pray that you guys are actually waking up and kind of seeing. I was in another space, they're also talking about the same thing. Because there's no reason that there should only be one black person on this board, or two black people on this board, and all of these Mexicans on this goddamn board. That's because we've been so gentrified out. And I thought what this lady said about a baby that was 2 years old. The fucking baby was 2 years old, and you calling the baby a monkey, and then saying how you're gonna take the baby around a corner, and then on top of that, telling basically in the room talking about how it's 100 of them to 25 of us. Like, you really just listen to the clip, you really see how much hate these people have for us. They hate us. They literally, there's never been a black and brown coalition. I'm just trying to figure out where that came from, whoever started that. These people hate us. They want to get rid of us. They want their country back. If we don't wake up soon, especially in Texas and in California, they're going to come and they're going to take that shit back. And the government is allowing them to do it because they know. So I just employ, and I hope that you guys are paying attention now and seeing, because just because you've seen these couple of people that got caught, Think about the ones that's actually talking that you never hear. But I'll end there and thank you.
Thank you enough. I appreciate that. Original, I'm gonna get to you. Before I get to you, I just want everybody to actually, this is real quick, and this is just a real quick short article, very short article about Senator Tommy Tuberville and how he went on his racist rant. It's from the Daily Beast. It was published, and it just says Senator Tommy Tuberville goes on racist rant over reparation. Saturday's Donald Trump rally in Nevada naturally features some extremist comments, chief among them a false and racist tirade from Senator Tommy Tuberville, Republican Alabama, who claimed that Democrats in favor of reparations because they are pro-crime. Tuberville's speech also called for an end to food stamps, education reform, and closing the border. No, they're not soft on crime. They're pro-crime. They want crime. Tuberville said to the fringe crowd, they want reparations because they think the people who do the crime are owed that. Bullshit. Go ahead, Original. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right. Peace, Black Power, and reparations, everybody. Yeah, enough is right. These people, they are vehemently racist when it comes to black folks. Now, when I lived in California, there was a Spanish-speaking city councilman. His name was Richard Alatorre. Okay, and it was known for years that he was doing drugs, but it was they never did anything to him. But it was when he spoke in favor of something for black people, all of a sudden they came at him. I mean, it was like a ton of bricks about him doing cocaine and this, that, and whatever. See, they punish their people when they get off code, and especially if they're speaking in favor for black people. Because I tell people, don't get it twisted about these I just call them Spanish speaking, just to get all of them on one page. Now remember what Dr. Claude Anderson taught us. He said these people are nothing but white folks who speak Spanish. And there was you all remember when the earthquake happened in Haiti, right? So there was some Haitian brothers and sisters that went down. Mexico claimed to be accepting them, giving them refuge, right? But there's this article. I still got to figure out how to post this up in the Templetron. It says, Mexico solidarity force Haitians only go so far. What they did, they allowed the Haitians to come over there, but they wouldn't give them work permits so they could work. So they tried to figure out how they could, make money for themselves. Some of them ended up, going to the illicit trades and other things. Some of the women were able to do like, a little nail shop or something like that, but they would not give those people a work permit. Now, when they come over here, oh hell, they want a work permit and they want food stamps and welfare money and everything else. But see, and they get that because these dumbass black Democrats sit up there and talk all this black and brown crap, which means black and brown mean anti-black. That is exactly what that means. It means anti-black. If anybody wants to know about that, it means anti-black. So these people, they don't have any likeness for us. And even down in Mexico, there was another article that came out around like 2016, and it says Mexico blacks. This was out of the Huffington Post, and it had like a Mexico black citizens get the right to vote. See, black people in Mexico never had, they only got the right to vote in 2016. But they want to tell us that we should help them. I don't give a damn about you, but you don't give a damn about black folks. It doesn't matter where they are from on this planet. The Spanish-speaking people have a vehement hate for black people, regardless of where you come from. They have a vehement hate for black people. And I want people to understand this because if people listen to us, they might hear me right now and they'll put the word out that I'm sounding racist. No, I'm just responding to the truth. I'm just giving you the truth about who these people are and what they would do. Because see, when I lived in California, there was 2 black radio stations, LH owned by Stevie Wonder, And I can't think of the brother man. He owned KACE. But see, back during that time, you had a lot of these black stations. They, for whatever reason, they hired these white marketing people, and they ran the stations into the ground. Some of them, and then they prepped them to be sold. And that's what happened to KACE. So the Spanish-speaking people purchased it, and where I was working at the time, oh, they was high-fiving themselves, saying that they took that. Oh yes, that's that's exactly who you are dealing with when you're dealing with these people. They have no, there is nothing that they wouldn't do to black folks that white. There was nothing they wouldn't do to black folks to show white folks that you don't have to worry about us. We on code with you. We ain't with them. But they come out with this black and brown garbage, trying to make everybody think that we're in some kind of solidarity. Don't ever believe that. And as far as this guy from, he's a former head coach at Auburn University. Now, what I would like to hear from some of these former players who played with them, who played with him, I would like for them to come out and chastise this boy, and let the people know that and maybe force him and try to force him to resign. But if you notice, these black athletes, they are some of the biggest punks out there, excluding Colin Kaepernick. At least Colin came out and spoke in our favor. These other fools, they think by staying silent, they're gonna get in good. They're gonna get in good with these folks. You can't get in good with evil. Evil is like poison. Whether it's less or more, it will still kill your body. So just remember that, people. When y'all think that, when some of these people that think that they can try to get along, there is no getting along with evil. Evil is just what it is, evil. And I don't care what anybody says. And I'll land with that and let someone else talk.
Appreciate that, original. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get to Professor Enough and then Black Native. Professor, go ahead and unmute your mic for me.
Yeah, thank you again, Newstoter. Getting back to Coach Tuberville or Senator Tuberville, former coach, head coach at Auburn University. I do want people to understand that this man was the head coach at Auburn University, but let's remember, before he even came to Auburn, because Auburn seemed to be the headline in school here, he coached at Ole Miss, he coached at Texas Tech, and he coached at Cincinnati. But it seems to be that only Auburn University is the headline in school here, for whatever reason. My hope is that all the black players that played at every one of these universities will come out against what he said. Now, only one player has actually spoken out about that, and that's Carlos Dansby, who played at Auburn. He was one of our best defensive players. He came out and basically he just said that I don't know exactly what this man meant by that, but I just know what it sounded like. It sounded wrong. It's the only thing he said. To me, he could have went a little bit further than that. I don't know why he didn't. Maybe scared somebody gonna come after him or something. But to me, and I think Original did speak on this. That is, these black football players, these black athletes, man, they need to speak out more, because at the end of the day, you might have the money and you got the fame, but you still black in America, and they can still come after you. It don't matter about you having the money at all. They still gonna come after you. Let's look at Bill Cosby. Let's look at some of our other Red Fox over the years. Just look at all the black people that they have come after, and next thing you know, these black people ended up without any money. Some of them ended up dying after the government got through with them and locked them down. R. Kelly, you look at him. I know there's a lot of circumstances in that, but still. Just look at how they come after us, man. It don't matter if you have the money or you don't, or you do. So my thing with this whole Tuberville thing, I'm not surprised. He only needed these young black athletes at Auburn and all the other schools because he wanted to make the money. And that's what they use these kids for. They use these kids to make money at these universities. And I wish a lot of these black athletes would go to the HBCUs. Being that I went to a predominantly white school, if I had to do it again, y'all, I would go to a HBCU if I had to do it again. But Auburn was my choice at the time. But Auburn, like most of these Southeastern Conference schools, they filled with a lot of racism. And I'm telling you, if you're black and you go on these campuses as a regular student, you will see it. Now, as a black athlete, you probably won't see it because they try to cover it up when it comes to you, because you're needed on that campus to win these football games and to win these basketball games. They need you. But see, for us regular, average black students, they didn't give a fuck. You were just another nigga on that campus, okay? And so the truth is, they're gonna treat you just like a suspect. That's how it goes down on these Southeastern Conference campuses. And so we look at Auburn with Tommy Tuberville, but really you can talk about all of them: Ole Miss, Tennessee, Kentucky, Florida, Georgia. This stuff is really rampant on all of these Southeastern Conference campuses. And I land my plane there.
Appreciate you, Professor. We're gonna go ahead and let's just for the sake of argument, just go ahead and just put it out there that Tuberville, whether he coached at Alabama or Auburn or Ole Miss or Texas Tech, Tuberville is white trash. I mean, and he just pretty much confirmed that. We always knew he was white trash, but he just went ahead and confirmed what everybody already suspected. Anyways, he has that look like white trash. Whenever I see him, he has that look like a stone redneck, like he has tobacco on the side of his mouth and he dips snuff and whatnot. So he's always had that look to me. I've never been a Tommy Tuberville fan. And, it's good that these people come out and say the way they actually feel about black folks and stuff too. Like you say, this man, his entire wealth, he owes the black people in terms of them going out there and doing things for him and giving him a winning program and teams and stuff like that. So just a content that these people have in their heart, no matter what position. The same one with the same with Nury Martinez out there talking noise in Los Angeles. When black people and stuff before Hispanics came out there and took over, did all kind of things for the city of Los Angeles. But that kind of stuff gets forgotten. Like history is not remembered. So Tuberville and this lady both are trash. She's a Latino trash. He's white trash.
Yes, amen to that. I can agree with that all the way. And Tuberville, y'all, by the way, is from Arkansas. So that kind of give you a little bit of heads up on that, because he's straight out the mountains of Arkansas, redneck through and through. And like I said, this man is a good old boy. He was in college football for years, and he was one of those ones that was able to get jobs from every school to you name it. He was able to just go in and get another job, whereas a lot of our black coaches out here, many of them don't get chances. And there's some very good black coaches out here that deserve a chance. But Tommy Tuberville, straight redneck, was getting chance after chance after chance.
Yeah, that's not really surprising either, because let's be for real, we know how racist that football and these sports are and stuff like that, and they believe that only white men should be in charge and only white men had a mindset to lead and the heart and all this other garbage that we've been hearing our whole life. Enough. Go ahead. We're gonna go to Enough, Black Native, and Mr. Engaging. Enough. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
So I just want to say to Original, don't ever hold back, friend, or caring about what someone will say, because I'm always gonna say fuck Mexicans. I'm always gonna say fuck all of them, any Hispanics, I don't give a fuck about none of them, because they don't give a fuck about us. When they ran, when that Mexican got behind the wheel and came over here illegally and ran my parents off the road and killed them, it's up and it's stuck. I don't give a fuck. I've always felt that way since I was 12, and I'm gonna continue to feel that way. Okay? And it's just gonna be like that. Fuck all of them. Because none of these motherfuckers give a fuck about us. They don't. And we need to stop holding back and stop being so fucking nice. And that's the problem. And that's why shit keep going on, because nobody's calling that shit out. Nobody's saying nothing in our community. Like, everybody's talking about it now, but where was you niggas 10 years ago? Why wasn't y'all talking about this? This shit been real. It's been getting real. It's been getting real. But when it's on the news or when you hear a clip, these motherfuckers behind the scenes doing shit. You know what I mean? So all I'm saying is never hold back. Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck all of them, because they don't give a fuck about us. We the only ones that give a fuck about each other. We the only ones. And we need to start calling this shit out in every way. All of it.
Thank you for that correction.
But I'm sorry. It just, okay. But yeah. And to the guy that was on TV talking about how we some criminals and how we don't deserve reparations, this tells me me, the only thing it tells me is that they listening. They hear us. So keep continuing to listen and be behind these goddamn Twitter accounts that ain't real and listening to us. I want you to hear the pain and all the suffering that you guys have caused us. We want our fucking reparations and we want it now. There's no way around it. We're not going anywhere. We're staying right where we are, and we're going to continue to fight, and you're going to give up the reparations. Okay? Thank you.
You're welcome. I appreciate having you. Adding to the conversation as always, Black Native. Go ahead and unmute your mic, sister.
Ooh, how do I follow behind Sister enough? Because she spoke with passion. Fuck them niggas. For real. Look, I've been saying this shit when I lived in New York about the Puerto Ricans. They would literally live in the same hood that you live in, go to the same school that you go to. But when it came down to voting and trying to get something, black people would be like, look, we all in this together, bullshit. So, come on, side with us, because we trying to get shit for all of us. No, they'd be like, no, nigga, me no black, no, nigga. You go ahead and vote Democrat. I'm going to go ahead and vote Republican. And that's what they've been doing. They've been doing this shit since I was little. They've been doing. I was like, why the fuck do they always vote against their own best interest? Why they always vote against us? If we trying to get something for everybody in the community, and you living in a community with us, but you will always side with white people. This is what they was doing. This is what the Puerto Ricans was doing in New York. So all Hispanics have felt this way. And about the black Mexicans, the black Mexicans who are living in poverty, who they got hidden in the back somewhere, they've been treating the black Mexicans like shit. Okay, so yeah, fuck them. And also about this racist ass Tommy Tuberville, I don't know who he is. I'm just hearing about it from you, Newstoter. But me and Professor had a conversation, and I was saying, why is it that these black athletes never speak out? They never stand up for themselves. They go to these white universities and make these all of the money that these white universities are getting are coming from their sports, from their the sports that they have in their school, the basketball teams, the football teams, anywhere black Americans are at. We're making these white universities rich. Instead of going to HSBCUs and letting them get that money, you'll go to Auburn, or you'll go to these other white universities, and all of the money is coming for their sports programs. All of the money. And then you scared to speak out about what's happening to your people, which could happen to you in the street. And I've been stopped watching the NFL when Colin Kaepernick did the knee, and nobody, and all them niggas standing up there on the motherfucking field, scared to kneel with him. And you coming from the hood. Colin Kaepernick was raised by I think white folks. When I watched this documentary on Netflix, you niggas is coming from the projects and from the hood, but you scared to lose your little bit of money and have some pride in yourself and kneel for your own people. They could have boycotted. Without black people, there is no NFL. Without black people, there is no NBA. I don't understand why this is not fucking clicking. And what they do is they go to these colleges and they dangle white cave vagina in front of their face. So that's more important than your own fucking people. We got a problem. And they need to be called the hell out too. But that white dude, the racist ass dude that got rich off of black people playing basketball, now it's like you talking about you got a problem with us getting reparations. Fuck him too. You know what I'm saying? I hope and you say he's a senator? Or whatever he is, he needs to get
Senator of Alabama.
Yeah, he needs to get kicked the fuck out of office. Why is he still the senator? And he's talking about only the criminals want reparations. Y'all motherfuckers is the criminals.
Republicans will not kick him out. He'll be in office because the Republicans will not kick him out.
Yeah, well, and speaking about criminals, he need to look in the mirror and look at his ancestors. That's the reason why we want reparation now for the fucking criminal activity that you did to our people and continue to do for 500 years. So I ain't trying to hear nothing they talking about. And I'm going to go ahead and land my plane on that. Thank you.
Thank you, sis. And the reason Professor's...
That's why he got a toupee on.
You got to remember too, like Professor saying, like he's a senator of Alabama. So in Alabama, we know his good old boy ran and run. So yeah, he was just saying what he was saying was just music to his base's ears. So he just did that to go ahead and get everybody revved up and whatnot. So we know in Alabama they're not going to go ahead and make him resign or quit or anything like that or step down. So that was just, that was just some of that old MAGA type motivation that he went ahead and just throwing fuel to the fire, just trying to get a response out of his people. Mr. Engaging, you're next. Mr. Engaging, Ray, and then Emmett. Go ahead, Mr. Engaging.
I have a question. Do you think that Tommy guy or whatever, is he auditioning to be Diet Trump Jr.?
Oh no, now Tommy Tuberville got to be up there in his age. I'm not sure how old he is, and you never know what kind of political aspirations somebody might have, down the road or whatever. So I couldn't really say, but I mean, like Tommy Tuberville is trailer park trash. So I mean, it's just part of course for somebody like that. I mean, to me, it's nothing huge or shocking that he would say something like that. Like I think a lot of times, especially with us black people, like a lot of us in this space, we watch college football and this and that, but we're not taken back by these people. We know that most of these people, that these coaches and these people at these programs and stuff, the only reason that these black people are at these universities is because they can do something for them. Like, I mean, they're only there because they can make these universities money. So we pretty much know these coaches, whether it be football coaches, basketball coaches, whatever, they're not in love with black people one iota. So you never get fooled by that. I mean, like Professor said, he goes for Auburn, I go for Florida State, Ray goes for Georgia, this and that. But at the same time, we know exactly what these universities was founded on. We know exactly who controls the money and every aspect of those universities. And the people that run those universities are white men. So, Tommy Tuberville just said what a lot of white men in the Deep South already feel.
And what Newstoter just said that everybody is right on the money, 100. Because it's also known that Dabo Swinney, who's one of the best coaches in college football right now at Clemson, I think they put him like right under Nick Saban. Because everybody say Nick Saban is the best coach right now of all times right now. And Dabo right now is kind of running second behind him. But Dabo has come out and even made statements about the fact that, the whole Black Lives Matter movement.
Dabo's a redneck too. He's a redneck too.
Mm-hmm. And Dabo is from Alabama. In case y'all didn't know that, he's from Alabama. So Mike Leach and Mississippi State, all these guys have made racist comments about the whole Black Lives Matter movement and all that stuff. So this is what we're dealing with in America, everybody.
So did Nick Saban.
Nick Saban.
I have a question then. How come there hasn't been a push to partition and actually stricken this guy from his legacy per se? Like when you're an educator, a teacher, or a coach, or anything of that nature, you kind of have to be kind of not like your personal opinions, your political views, or your personal beliefs or whatever. It shouldn't be out on display. Why are we not challenging the fact that his record should be stricken, or he should lose his record, or stuff of that nature? That's what the type of time.
Because not to cut you off, brother, because it's not going to happen. That's why, because he didn't do anything criminal. They're going to say that he has a right to state his opinion and this and that. He's in Alabama of all places, Auburn, the university, which he's most famous for coaching, even though, like Professor said, he's coached other places. You're talking about Auburn, Alabama, Deep South, Old Dixie. They're not going to do anything to him. He hasn't been convicted of a felony or a crime, anything like that. So just to go ahead and all it would do would just be something that the media just be talking about. Nothing's going to happen to him because, like I said, he's no longer coaching for one anyways. He wasn't no great coach. Secondly, he was okay. He was nothing to write home about. And third and most important, like I say, there's nothing that they can stick to him that's going to get him out of there. He's not going to coach again. I'm sure after that he's up in his age. He's not too old to coach, but I doubt seriously he's going to ever coach again or whatever. So They're not going to do anything. They're not going to say anything. You see what this thing going on with Brett Favre, and people been talking about kicking Brett Favre out of the Hall of Fame and this and that and this and that. Well, have they kicked him out of the Hall of Fame yet? All of those little chants about kick Brett Favre out. You see how low that volume is? They're not going to kick no Brett Favre out. Brett Favre would have to do something horrendous to get kicked out of the NFL Hall of Fame. Brett Favre has always been a media darling. They're not going to do anything to him, and they're not going to do anything to Tommy Tuberville either, because Tommy Tuberville is just saying what a whole lot of white men in this country believe. Except
Yes, he said what a lot of white men believe, y'all. As a matter of fact, I've been right here as we talking in this space, y'all. I've been on the Auburn blog, because Auburn University has weighed in on it. They put out a little statement, not much. I think I tagged you in it, Newstoter, and it was just a brief statement to say that they didn't. He didn't represent, his statement didn't represent what they believe. Is all they said. That's that university type stuff. They're gonna keep it short and brief. They're not gonna go too long. But the majority of people in Alabama believe the way Tommy Tuberville believe. If you go on the blogs right now that I'm on, you will see where some of these white folk are sitting here right now talking about, I don't see what he said that was so racist. I believe just what he believed. That's what they said right now. I'm looking at the comments. So that tells you about Alabama.
it sure does. And it not only tells you about Alabama, but it tells you how most, not all, but how most white people feel about black people in this country. Ray, I think you must have hit the mute button. Yeah, it lets you know like how a lot of them feel about black people in this country. So he just sharing a sentiment that a whole lot of millions of other white people believe in. Like they feel like that you've been in this country is reparations enough, because you're not over there in Africa and you're not a cannibal and you're not dying of some disease that was eradicated 60 years ago. So they said, Negro, you already got reparations. You here in this country right here, and you got a better life than any other Negro around this planet. That's your reparations. Shut your black mouth. That's exactly what they telling us. Ray, go ahead and unmute your mic, and then we had Emmett up in here, but Emmett must have dropped now. So we're gonna go Ray, and then we're gonna go to FBA.
Let me real quick, family. Tommy Tuberville, this isn't surprising. It just really isn't. Like I said, for us, college SEC fans, none of this is surprising. They've always used the black athlete. I remember not too long ago when Dabo Sweeney, when they were asking about the NIL deal, which you guys don't know, that stands for name, image, and likeness. And he was saying that, they were talking about basically compensating the players, because a lot of these players, dead broke, and they could just get fed, really for game time, type of things like that. And Dabo was saying, if I got to pay these players, I'd rather retire. He don't want me to get a dime. I mean, that just tells you the mindset a lot of these people have. They use us for our talent. Perfect example, like I believe what Sister Enough said. The NFL is black. All the owners, except for I think Shad Moss, who is the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, I believe. Everybody else is white. They control everything. They'll let us run the ball, control how much money we can get, things like that. But I was just going to tell Professor, I don't know if any of you guys heard this, but this really hurts me to say, because I'm a University of Georgia fan. Kind of just grew up in it, just being from Georgia. There were 120 bones found at the University of Georgia that belonged to slaves. You can look that up right now. They did like a little quiet ceremony. That didn't make sense at all. I'm going to land my plane on that. But it's just the racism that has come from Tommy Tuberville. It's not a surprise at all.
It's probably bones underneath all these universities. You think these people care? Like they probably is bones underneath all these universities and businesses and houses and everything else, man. Like these people don't give a damn. Like, man, please. Hey, don't tell it. I'm sure only 120. That's it. That's not that many when you think about it. I thought it'd been a whole lot more than that. So that's not really that.
But for one small area, that's not it. Were they doing like a mass burial or something?
It's not like these people respected the remains of people that died and stuff like that, and respected like the rest areas of people that died and stuff like that. So like I say, it's not really that surprising to me at all. FBA Empress, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you. Peace, family. Peace, Newstoter. Peace, Ray. To the room, a big day family. So I just wanted to say, I'm not familiar with these people like very detailed or whatever, but I just know what I've been seeing on my timeline or whatever. But are any of us surprised? I mean, these people, they come here. We already know we have no allies. We have no friends. It is nobody but us, right? These people, they either were here, we talk about white supremacy, or they come here and they want to be white supremacists, and they all treat us the same, right? They, excuse me, they use our struggle to get accomplishments. They use our bodies and talents for their entertainment. They use us and squeeze the last drop out of us, and then they say these racist things and blame it on being, I don't know, drunk, sick, sleepy, because it's Tuesday, all this nonsense. And like, yeah, we don't have the obligation to explain how we feel, to tell why we're upset about things. Just keep doing what we're doing and keep our foot on their necks. No need to be surprised. We already understand the history of these people. Just do your job and keep your foot on your necks.
Absolutely, sister. Like I said, it's no surprise. Like, I know Tommy Tuberville just because I watch sports and I watch college football and stuff like that. So I've known Tommy Tuberville for years. This other lady, Nury Martinez, I had never heard about her or anything like that. I've never been to California. I know a bunch of people that's been out there and they talk about the actual how things are and things of that nature like that. So just the fact that what really startled people was the fact that this woman was talking about taking a child that was a couple years old and taking around the corner, a child that's not even yours or not even related to, and you talking about disciplining them, and you're saying it in a way not to even discipline that child, but you're gonna show this little black bastard. That's what got a lot of people upset there.
Yeah, she used the word beat down. Who are you talking about? Did somebody rob you or something? She used the word beat down. That's just crazy.
Yeah, who in the hell talk about giving a child a beat down? As a child, I've been told by my parents, I'm gonna don't maybe come in there and beat your butt. Don't maybe they didn't even say spank. Don't maybe come in there and beat your butt. They ain't never sit up there and talk about a beat down. Like, what, a beat down? You gonna beat down a 2-3-year-old child because they were misbehaving? A child that's not even related to you? And you sitting up here and you're saying all this derogatory stuff, and then she just went ahead and she just let the cat out the bag, and she's sitting up here just talking all kind of noise, and so was the other council people up there talking about nobody's going to do anything to Latinos and this and that, and F them because they deal with black people and all this kind of different stuff like that. And it's not surprising because you have a lot of black people out there, and you see a lot of these lawsuits taking place out there in California now. And I meant to post that article in the Jumbotron, but you have black people suing in these warehouse industries saying how much anti-racism, anti-black racism is coming from their Latino superiors, how hard they're making their lives out there, working out there. So like he said, this whole minority coalition, this whole black and brown thing and this and that, people can sit up here and say this and that, but you don't get a bunch of Latinos sitting up here talking about how black people are discriminating against them and how black people are making it hard for them and this and that. We've constantly opened up the doors for these people. It's not being reciprocated. Now they feel like to the fact that, hey, we outnumber y'all out there in California. We'll do what it is we damn well wanna. So this is the kind of nonsense that you have to deal with. And I'm not going to sit up here and say all Latinos that way, but too many of them out there in California, you're having too many issues right now. It's just too many issues. Black people can't even go to work out there without just hearing all kind of stuff from them. So you already expecting to deal with white supremacy. Now you got to deal with another form of supremacy. Now you have a class that's been elevated over you, a class who has benefited from your struggles, a class who's benefited from your people dying in the streets, being water hosed, being attacked, churches bombed, men lynched, castrated, women ripped apart, and this and that. And they're sitting up here acting like they don't know you. Like they like that, like you can't tell them that they're not part of the upper class now. So they can sit up here and try to paint this thing with this woman up here. This woman sounded no different than a regular Karen sitting up here just running her yap. Black Pressure, you got your hand up, brother. Go ahead and unmute your mic. Oh boy, I think we done lost Black Pressure. I see his phone. He's deconnecting. Let me get to Mr. Engaging, and we're gonna get to you, Original. Black Pressure, come back up. I'm gonna put him back up here.
Yeah, my thing is with Miss Nunes is why she's not getting charged with child endangerment charges and stuff of that nature, because in almost with also a hate crime to a minor, or something of that sort, because she was caught on tape speaking these horrendous things about her child. I feel like we need to be more harder. I think even her out of her position, she still has a threat to the black community, and a threat to our children and our little loved ones. I think no matter where she goes, there needs to be like a database or something out there for people who say these horrendous things, especially to children and about children. I think that shouldn't be tolerated. So I think we're not hard. I feel like we're not going hard enough on this issue. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, and that's interesting to see. Like I said, I know Black Native was saying something that she got fired, but I'm hoping like there's no way possible this woman shouldn't be able to retain her job or anything.
She didn't get fired.
She resigned. She resigned.
She resigned out of her position though, but she is still on the board.
So you got to get rid of. You got to get her off the board. You can't just sit up here you just can't sit up here and let this lady resign and then keep her on the board. I mean, she's too dangerous. You got to go ahead and get her off of there. Let her. She resigned, but she's also resigning not only her position, but she's resigning her post on that board as well too. So she's got to be up out of there. So yeah, you just can't have this right here. We got to go ahead and move on. Black Pressure, go ahead and unmute your mic, bro.
Wait. But she needs to have a paper trail. She needs to have a record on her, no matter where she goes, that she is known to threaten little black children. That's what.
Well, hell, she's got a paper trail. I mean, this done made national news. She's on all kind of different websites and stuff. So the paper trail is there. It's just that people want to actually use the paper trail, but she has a paper trail. She made the national news. She made the local news. She's on social media. I mean, she went viral for this. And so the paper trail is there. It's just the fact, will people go ahead and use the paper trail? Because I mean, hell, you got a paper trail and you got a video trail. You got every kind of trail you need to go ahead and get this lady whatever. And not only was she making negative comments about the black child here, but about black people in general and this and that, and trying to go ahead and screw people over and whatnot in terms of gerrymandering them right up out their districts and stuff like that. So they already got her nailed to the cross. I mean, like I say now, if somebody wants to come and hire her and act like they don't know about this and pretend like they were living on the moon when all this happened, that's their business. But they already got this lady. They already know exactly what she was up to. So you got the paper trail. Like I said, it's on NBC, it's on Fox, it's on all of the affiliates of theirs and whatnot. It's on MSNBC, it's on Twitter, it's on Facebook, it's on YouTube. It's everywhere. So the paper trail is there for her. Black Pressure, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, what's up, Black family? What's up, News? What's up, Ray? Hey, I don't know News if it was you or Ray that brought up what's his name at Clemson? I don't know why I'm losing it right.
Dabo Sweeney.
Thank you, sir. Dabo Sweeney, and also Tommy Tuberville, as well as both of y'all college football fan for life. So I don't expect the ladies to get this, but when you peel the layers back, what's really sad is if black people really want to make a difference, and I'll just take those two universities, Clemson and Auburn, they would not send those 4- and 5-star recruits. I'm talking the black ones. They would not send their children to those universities to make it rich, via their athletic ability. But what's sad is those black parents, they are still going to send their children, those 4- and 5-star recruits, to those universities, make them millions and millions of dollars. And it's the disdain for black people is obvious, and we keep pipelining our kids to those schools. And I'll land my plane right there.
Appreciate it, brother. We had a comment on YouTube, and Pop Dop said it's talking about Nury Martinez. He said it's a city council, not a board. Same function but different name. She already resigned as leader of the council. She needs to resign from her elected office on the council. So Pop Dop, shout out to them just for going ahead and clearing that up some. So whatever it is, she needs to get her ass up out of there. Period. Like she's already It's no need for her to be anywhere anymore. People already see exactly what she's about, and they already knew what she was about anyways, because it's just the first time that it just got leaked or whatever. But she's been talking this nonsense behind the scene, who knows for how many years. Original, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, you're right about that. And I think, partly was with us when I lived in California. There was some of the black people from Mexico. We had this little forum that we would gather together every Friday. It was called the Talking Drum Community Forum, and it was designed so that black people could just come and just vent. And we would have like a resident scholar, and we had some great things come up out of there. And there was once where we had some of the black people from Mexico. They came up to have a dialogue with us. And then this brother, he started, it was really crazy. He started saying, well, have you all thought about converting to Catholicism? We were like, my brother just went off. Wait a minute. So we just got rid of that damn crap. And said, we're not going back that way. That's what's holding you back already. Because, some of these belief system teaches people to always love your enemy and always forgive. Fuck that. I ain't forgiving shit. That's just how it's gonna be. And so it got a little heated there for a minute, because when he started talking about us converting to Catholicism, that's what put us in this damn position in the first place. And the other thing too, regarding the black child. When I lived there, they would give black people above qualified black people. They would give them hell trying to adopt a black child. But anybody else, they just come in, just pick whichever one you want. And so then they started. They were saying that black people don't want to adopt black children. That is not true for the most part. Because if a black, whether they be single or married, if they go in there to adopt a black child, they're making up all kind of excuses to put them through all this paperwork and foolishness just so they could try to adopt a black child. And that's why you see these other people with these black children, because they don't want to let the children go back to anyone in the family, and they can raise a child. They want to detach that child from their family, and when that child goes in and that child is with people that don't look like them, that's the mindset. That's to create more havoc within our community by they do it through the children. And I'll give you an example. Over in Ghana, it was in a book. It was called Larti. It's an area called Larti in Ghana. And so after they overthrew the people, they was forcing them to go to these churches. So the people just went through they were just going through the motion. They didn't believe it. And so the white folks said, well, they ain't following. They're not, accepting this. So what they did, they targeted the children. They always go after the children because they know the children, they basically are a clean slate. You can program them to do anything. And that just happened after subsequent generation after subsequent generation. And that's why we're where we are now. With some people, they just push this religious stuff so vehemently. And I have to tell some people sometimes, look, if that's your thing, but it ain't my thing. I ain't bowing down to nothing, and that's just not me. So I just wanted to share that because most people, may not understand why so many things are taking place, but it start with that. A lot of this start with that religious belief, and I'll land with that.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, religion it definitely plays a role in it and whatnot. Most black people in this country, though, most of us aren't Roman Catholics and Catholicism and all that. I know you have a lot of black people on the islands and stuff like that, in Haiti and in places like that, big on the Roman Catholic and stuff. And I know with the Latinos, like the Mexicans and some of the Puerto Ricans and Dominicans and stuff like that, like they believe into it. Like we were never into that Roman Catholic type religion or whatever. But religion be damn, like I mean, what does religion have to do with this here? Like religion has not brought us together as a group of people. So we can't really worry about the religion part. Like, I mean, us becoming going to Catholicism is not going to change the anti-black views that a lot of these people from these nations have, because like I said, you got a bunch of people over there in Haiti, and Haiti shares the same island with Dominican Republic, and they believe in all that stuff, the Catholicism and the saints and all this and that, and they can't stand them Haitians. So what exactly?
So let me say this though. See, no, but see, even whether they be Baptist, Methodist, or whatever, the people that I have encountered, when they find out, I went to a function maybe about a couple of weeks ago, and we got into a conversation, and I just told everybody, I basically, I was trying to be gentle with them, but I said, I threw Jesus in the garbage. I don't want that damn shit. And they all looked at me like, what did you say? I said, you want me to say it again? But I don't have a problem saying it. And I look at just the power that it has, I mean, just the control it has over them. They can't believe that someone doesn't believe in this. And it doesn't matter whether it be a Christian or a Muslim. A lot of the Muslims are just as jacked up in the head as these black Christians when it comes to this religious thing. They are just as jacked up in the head, and they get angry with you when you call their religion out. So it's not just Catholicism. It's the whatever I can't think of the word I want to use now, what they call them. But anyway, it's just whatever they call them. But yeah, that's what it is. Because I just but what I was sharing with some of the people at this function, they were like, "Oh, really?" They said, "Well, I'll give you a call," and one person, I really did help them out. And so, but like I say, but a lot of these people, regardless whether it be Catholicism, Islam, or what, just the Baptist Christianity, Baptist, or whatever it is, that is their foundation, and a lot of them can't let it go. Fortunately for me, I left Georgia and went to California and came in contact with the right people, and I was able to just shed myself of all of that. So yeah, and I'll land with that.
Let me just say thank you to everybody that went ahead and started following Newstoter in the space. I appreciate it. Definitely go ahead and hit the notification so you guys can stay up to date on current content that we put out daily. So definitely thank anybody that's in the space that is following Newstoter. Also, you can support us on Cash App, which is $Newstoter. Once again, that is $Newstoter. Ray, go ahead and unmute your mic.
I was just gonna let everybody know about this conversation that I had earlier. So obviously, the whole Tommy Tuberville situation. Like you said, a guy 18, 19 years old. Yeah, I agree with him. They don't deserve anything. Blah, 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 blah. But I tell y'all, I ran this down family because what I was told is, as we got older, that people will become more accepting because the older people are dying off, and younger people are going to come in, and they have different views, et cetera, et cetera. Family, that's not the truth. It's just not. A lot of these people are more anti-black than I would dare say their ancestors. It's just, and they're even mad because they can't express it the way their ancestors were able to. But we need to just definitely keep that in mind. And like I said, I ran him down because he was like, "What didn't happen to you? Why do you think you deserve anything?" Like I said, the same old talking points. I was like, y'all sat around and purposely waited until all of our people died off so you could have that little stupid talking point about obviously no one being here. But that doesn't mean the debt went anywhere. Y'all still owe us. We're still going to come from it. They said the same thing about civil rights. For a lot of people that don't know, white people were against any type of, us being equal, especially during the civil rights era. They were against that. They were against us being in school. They were against, busing. They've been against everything. So this is just another thing that we are going to stand 10 toes down on and get our money. That's just how it's going to be. I land there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Here's the thing too, man. Like I say, I feel that out there, I guess people can kind of see the numbers of black people in California is decreasing. And you sometimes living in Florida, you also wonder about that as well too. But in California, I will say one thing about Florida is though, even though the amount of Black Americans here isn't what it used to be when I was, a child and coming up and stuff. You still have a lot of black people still in this state. I can't really speak on California. I don't know what the population of black people is in California. When I'm talking about black people, I mean like non-black Americans as well too. So I think you kind of see out that they see a group of people that really have no one to actually lean on, that they're outnumbered, and that that they pretty much that there's nowhere to run to. So pretty much we just gonna go ahead and we gonna do what we want to, because I've heard all kind of things going on with the gangs and stuff and black people being targeted and this and that. And that's not to take away from the gang culture that's in California, because we know we have a bunch of black gangs out there as well too. But it seems like a lot, like, I mean, for all of this talk about California being this great liberal dwelling, and everything is so great out there and this and that, that California is just as racist as the damn states in the South, and it always has been. California's always been a powder keg from the time black people went out there and left the deep South and moved out there. They did not want black people coming out there. And when black people came out there and made a way and this and that, it's been just hell for them since then or whatever. So I'm really curious to see what black people are going to do there. I know we started talking about this whole migration thing and whatnot. Is California even worth saving at this point if you're black? I mean, do you really? I mean, is it?
In my opinion, because I used to live in California, as everybody know, I'm a Navy veteran. I used to be stationed in San Diego on the USS Theodore Roosevelt. So, in my opinion, no. I mean, California has turned into a hellhole. Even the 2 years I was out there with all the, obviously, different gang sets and things like that. The insurance, just living out there is absolutely insane. I believe my rent was close to like $2,500. Then obviously you still gotta have gas, you gotta eat, and the gas out there even now it's like close to like $6-7. They ran California. It's just a complete hellhole, and I hate to say that because it's such a beautiful place. The weather's always nice there. But damn that I deal with some rainy days, so I ain't gotta deal with the bullshit they got going on.
Yeah, they can keep California. I'm saying, but I feel for our people that's out there. It's tough sledding right there. I think that they'd be best by coming back to the South. It's definitely cheaper and more affordable than living out there in California. That would just be my recommendation. Of course, people have family, they have jobs, they just can't uproot themselves and things like that. But at this point, I just see California as being a lost cause, man. Like, I mean, you got to have some money to be able to live out there.
And who you telling?
Yeah, it is. It's a lost cause.
When I used to live there, like I said, I would have to leave San Diego and I have to go across. I forget what the name of the bridge is, but I have to get connect to an island called Coronado. Everybody on that island, damn me, man. That's where you have to go to get to different ships and things like that. But what kills me, and I just want to add this on to my point, the people that live in California that are leaving, they're bringing the policies that they ran away from with them to whatever state they're going to. And that makes no sense to me. Like, what was the point of you leaving if you're just going to come here, whether it be Texas, Georgia, Florida, etc., and continue doing the same dumb shit?
Oh yeah. I'm in agreement with you. That originally you were saying something, brother. You want to go ahead and add to what you were saying? I didn't mean to cut you off. Anything?
Oh no, I was good. I didn't want to take a whole bunch of time, but no. Some of the people I met in California, they were some of them were born and raised there, and it's kind of like in that book, The Destruction of Black Civilization, Dr. Chancellor Williams. There was a group of Africans when the white folks started invading. They just decided, look, we ain't moving. We don't care what y'all do. We just ain't moving, and they didn't move. So and I think it's that same mentality with some of our people that's there. But when I was there, it was cool, and I left California in 2004, and I kind of wanted to go back, but as I seen things, I said, nah, I'm kind of good. I'm glad I came here to Georgia, because the house that I'm in and everything. If I was in California, oh man, there's no way I could have this. I mean, the house that I have now. There's no way I could have this house in California without paying. At the time that I bought it, it would have been like about maybe $400,000. I only paid like $139 for it. So, but yeah, that's and also too, she was a religious fanatic, and we thought she was just crazy. And what she kept saying, she kept telling us, she said, the Mexicans are killing these black women. And true enough, it came out that these black women were being found dead in some of these alleys. We thought initially she was crazy because she walked around all the time talking about Jesus and and we just kind of pushed her off as being crazy, but turned out sister wasn't lying. And it's as Dr. Clark said, we don't have any friends, but it's unfortunate that too many of our people, they're pushing this black and brown propaganda, and I think they're pushing that to try to attach them to us, to try to give them some type of leverage to be included with our reparations. But no, that ain't gonna happen. Because if you're not a descendant of those people, you're not entitled. I don't give a damn who you are or where you come from. And I land.
Let me ask anybody a question here. I'm not sure if anybody may know or whatnot, but to your knowledge, on the actual reparations committee board, like what's the racial breakdown? Does anybody know what's the breakdown of that? That I'd be interested to know that. How many black people on it? How many Hispanics? How many whites? Asians? I would really like to know what's the actual racial breakdown of the actual, the reparations board that they have out there in California. If
That's
anybody,
actually a really good question. So why would he even have Asian and whites and people that aren't of the lineage on a damn board about our money? That makes no sense on that surface.
That person that would probably know a Newstoter, I think she's not even on Twitter right now, man. I think her account got suspended. Sister Connie Nordos. I think she would know.
she was just on she was just in the space on Saturday. Her account got suspended already. Just got suspended.
That's what I was told today, man. Her account got suspended.
Oh shit.
Newstoter, I got it right here. It has let's see, there's 3, 6, 9. It's 9 of them on the board. One Asian, and the rest of them are black. But I think there was enough with this Dr. Javon Scott Lewis, with him, and most of them are coons like this Reginald Jones Sawyer. He tried to destroy the committee by getting a bill passed where they could just remove a member just because they want, and they didn't want to bring in another coon to try to reverse what they did. So the board is mostly black, but that doesn't mean I have to go back and find out exactly which ones voted for that supported. I think Lisa Holder. I think she did vote for her, Javon Scott, and I can't think of the other one. But most of these, and they old black folks. Most of them, they old black folks.
Holder voted against.
Holder voted against. Okay, thanks for that correction. But I would have to go find out exactly who voted for it, but I know this Reginald Jones Sawyer, he voted against it, and I can't think of who else.
The Japanese man voted against it. Holder voted against it. Sawyer voted against it, and one more person.
Yeah.
And original, how many you say on that board total? It's 9.
It's 9.
And it's mostly black, and they voted against reparations.
Right.
Yeah, they might be.
Nah, they voted against lineage based. No.
You gotta ask other people's background. Yeah, they might be black. They might be. I mean, it doesn't do us any good having about the black up there. If the black people's up there, Kanye West, Larry Elder, and Jesse Lee Peterson, that doesn't do us any good. So you really have to check the people's background. I mean, because they do shit like that. They'll be like, well, you got black representation, but they got the person that's been cooling it up the most is who they put up there.
But I just heard Shepard say something about it was lineage based. So is that what I'm hearing, Shepard? It was the vote went down Narc and Cobra versus Friedman, Ados, FBA ideology. So Narc and Cobra, as you know, are more Pan-African based. They want to see a different style of reparations, and of course, you know what you believe. So it was just lineage based against. But the twist was Pan-Africanist Secretary of State Shirley Weber
told everybody from the get-go that she wanted it to be lineage-based. So all Pan-Africans and all Narcan and Cobra don't agree that it should not be lineage-based. Some do agree that it should be lineage-based. So that's the...
Any person that's trying to make an argument outside of lineage-based is honestly just a bad faith argument. We can't play into that.
Well, it's an old argument, and it's not bad faith. It's an older argument than your argument. So it's not bad faith. Your argument came after that argument. So they could say your argument's bad faith, too.
What argument? What argument came? Real quick, what argument came after his argument, Shepard?
Non-lineage based was the first argument. It wasn't based just around if you were Jamaican, if you were, came from a different country. How would we figure out who deserves reparation? The original reparations movement, the one that's carried it until 5 years ago, was not lineage based. So you're really new with the lineage based argument in a specific locality in delineation. So you're the new kids on the block. Sorry.
Well, I know this much right here. Hold on one second. I know this much right here because even in the 60s, you was hearing Malcolm X was saying that black Americans, when they was trying to actually put Hispanics and stuff in there, he was saying, well, no, something needs to be specifically for Black Americans. So I mean, I don't understand why. I get what you're saying that this is new or whatever, but
but Malcolm X isn't considered one of the pioneers of reparations.
Oh no, I'm not saying he's considered one of the pioneers of reparations, because you would have to go back to Frederick Douglass. They were talking about reparations as well after slavery.
You can say in the 1900s. You don't have to go to Frederick.
No, but I'm saying he was one of the ones. He initially talked about it too. I mean, I know we can go to the 1900s, but I'm saying Frederick Douglass also talked about reparations as well. And I'm sure Frederick Douglass, when he was talking about reparations, he meant for the people that was actually descendants of slaves in this country.
Well, you can't make that argument just because there wasn't no immigration then from people from other countries, so it didn't make a difference. The argument can't even begin until the 60s because we didn't have mass immigration from the Caribbean or any other country.
But I'm saying we don't need to go back to the 60s. I'm saying that the reparations that people are talking about is specifically for people who descend from slavery.
Okay, we established that. That's never even in question. The point that I'm trying to make, just let me land, because it's really a simple point. Delineation-based reparations for slavery, the conversation started 5 years ago as a central alternative way to figure out who deserves to be in the front of the line. That's all I'm saying. That's a standalone comment. The reparations for national reparations conversation goes from Cali House to Queen Mother Moore and New Africa, and it's been carried by Pan-Africans since the beginning of the argument. So as a national issue, who's going to the UN? Who's to talk about reparations? These are the descendants of Narcan and Cobra. They grew up to be Narcan and Cobra, the Pan-Africanists. So this argument, this is all I'm saying. I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm for lineage-based, by the way. I'm right with the Secretary of State of California, Shirley Weber. Lineage-based is the way to go. I'm with that argument. So I'm just giving you a timeline with no emotion. This argument that straight lineage-based delineation is a new argument. It's only 5-6 years old. Let's give it 8 years, because there was an organization called DOS that Yvette Carnell took and created ADOS out of. It was just descendants of slavery. It was a black man, black American, who created DOS. His name is Henry or something. I forget his name. But that's who Yvette copied her ideas about lineage based. So let's even go back further. 8 years tops. So the reparations argument is 100 years old, from the 1900s to 2022. So out of 120 years, your argument is 8 years old. So you're the new kids on the block, no matter what you say.
Okay. Well, let me go ahead and I know Wani had her hand up, and I'm gonna get to the other speaker as well. So Wani, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yes, I put my hand up and then I put it down, but because he tried to clean up what he was saying. But the reason that the other groups were not being spoken about is because the other groups were not here to be factored in. That's why no one spoke about them. And we just did not think about the other groups. Why would we think about them? And why would we even think that they would be deceptive enough to think that they're part of our group? So I just wanted to put that out there that no, we did not. If these people are to the right of the decimal point in 1965, the discussions would not be about them, because we would think that they would have the sense to police themselves. Just like if I immigrated over to Haiti and they decided to give Haitians something, I would never stand in the line, because I have integrity and I know how to police myself, and I'm not a parasite. So we did not realize that people would even do the things that they're doing. So no, we didn't factor that in. And I don't think it got to the level where we would think that way anyway. So we've gotten very far into this discussion, and all the details are being worked out.
So I agree with her 100%.
Okay. I believe Latita.
Hi, Newstoter. My name is Letitia, and I
Letitia.
just wanted to basically debunk some of the statements the gentleman made. I am or was part of CJAC, and the very last hearing, my testimony was presented during portions of the presentation, and I've been involved in the movement for some time. And I will say this, the gentleman is correct in saying that Callie House was one of the initial persons who presented a lineage-based reparations claim. And because at that time things were very racist, they would not allow Callie House, and it was about 15 families, to present their lawsuit.
It wasn't lineage-based,
Would
sis.
you stop, sir? Thank you. Lineage-based reparations was presented. In the 1800s, we were primarily the ones here in this country. So although Callie House and the 15 families that presented a lawsuit at that time did not say lineage-based, it was obviously lineage-based, because the freedmen coming out of slavery at that time after 1865 were primarily us. They wouldn't have wouldn't have been talking about Haitians and Jamaicans and other people, because we were the only persons here in this country.
Exactly.
Sir, please, if you're gonna talk, and I will be quiet.
Yeah, real quick, Shepard. Just go ahead and let her finish up, and then you got your hand up, so you can go. So go ahead and let her finish up. Sorry, sister. Go ahead and finish up. You can go ahead, sister. I'm sorry if it should be unmuted now.
After that, in the like 50s to 1980s, Queen Mother Moore, a Pan-Africanist, was the primary face of the reparations movement. Arthur Ward, who is a person on this app who's heavily involved in the reparations movement out of Chicago, was able to find Queen Mother Moore's last writing on reparations. In that writing, she said that her goal and her desire was that reparations be for her people, be for Black Americans descended from U.S. chattel slavery. This is the woman who is the mother, considered the mother of the modern day reparations movement. Then let's go into the early 20th century. Then we have Cobra, we have NARC, and we have those Pan-Africanist groups. And yes, the congressman out of Michigan, I think it was, did present the reparations bill, H.R. 40. But that bill lingered, as we all know, on the House floor for 30 years. And I will say this, and this is my position based upon my experience and based on my involvement in the reparations movement. It has been grassroots organizers, grassroots folks who have brought the reparations movement back into the forefront, including the hashtag movement, whether you want to give them credit or not. And as a result, lineage-based reparations, which is what most of us have been pushing for years, has been the type of reparations that has been pushed. I will say this: I sat in a room where Nkechi Taifa, who is on the board of NARC, said that she and NARC and board members of NARC did not push reparations during President Obama's administration because they agreed to not do so. For 8 years, Nkechi Taifa, and those in the reparations movement know who she is. She's a lawyer who has been on NARC for years. So they let it linger because they wanted to placate Barack Obama, because 2 reasons. Barack Obama was a descendant of slave owners, and 2, they did not want it to interfere with his administration. So my point in saying all of this is that reparations has been, from the get-go, a lineage-based claim, and it was co-opted by the Pan-Africanists, because Queen Mother Moore, a real Pan-Africanist, always wanted it to be lineage-based, but they twisted it and co-opted it. And that's the only thing I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. I appreciate it. Shepard, I know you wanted to respond. You had your hand up, so go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, I listened. I was waiting for her to debunk something I said. It sounds like both the speakers, Wani and her, just really repeated what I said and then just put their extra twist on it. The difference that we're having right now in the conversation is just a word, and it's no need to really get heated over it. And I'm laughing because the word is lineage. Obviously, if there was no immigration, there's no lineage. Your lineage is your family, your immediate family, where you hail from. It doesn't have anything to do with your race-based reparations. Lineage is not your race. You can't say, yeah, I'm of this lineage. No, that's what people speak about tribes, in other countries, or they speak about clans, and this is my lineage, this is my heritage. Heritage is not race. Reparationists from the 1900s all the way until about 8 years ago, we're talking about race-based reparations, not lineage-based. So that's the only difference in what we're saying. And the reason why the speakers keep trying to conflate that is because they don't have an answer for lineage-based being so new. It's just a fact. Find me a hashtag that's talking about lineage specifically before 8 years ago. You can't find it. We were trying to get race-based reparations, Mother Moore, Callie House. It doesn't even make sense, actually. Like, if there's no other people but black people here, literally, the black race, up ye mighty race, Marcus Garvey, the black race was trying to get reparations for the race, not for the lineage. You were splitting hairs. The only time you have lineage is when you have competition for resources and you want to delineate. Up until 8 years ago, there wasn't an issue because Pan-Africans had controlled the race-based reparations conversations totally. But then after Ta-Nehisi Coates gave that speech in the Senate and wrote that article, and everybody rushed into the fray. They had congressional hearings. They had the 2016 presidential race where different presidential candidates was asked about the reparations question. This is when reparations exploded. And then Yvette Carnell stole the idea from the brother who created DOS. So you don't have a delineation. You don't have a lineage. You don't have any of this language in the text. And I dare any of you to find it where it doesn't actually mean race. We're talking about race-based reparations for black people, not lineage-based reparations. That doesn't make sense. So if you don't have immigration, you don't even have a need to delineate. So then you don't have a need to use the word lineage. So it's just a nonsensical argument right? Secondly, they didn't push reparations, Narcan and Cobra, not because they were trying to placate Obama because of his racialism. That doesn't make sense. They didn't push reparations-based voting because it conflicted with Obama's agenda to piece together his masterpiece of healthcare, right? I would have rather they push reparations than healthcare, but he was trying to cobble together votes from Republicans at the in his first year to do his healthcare shit, right? Now, you can argue that didn't benefit black people at all. I don't care. The point is, they did not shelf reparations. They didn't have the votes. John Conyers did not have the votes to push reparations through the Congress at all, and let alone push it to the Senate where everything goes to die. I just put a video in the Jumbotron about all the Republicans who said that they will never give black people reparations. I just put it in the Jumbotron. So you got Ronald Reagan, who gave Japanese reparations because it was the right thing to do. You got Ronald Reagan, who said we have to stand on honor. He was the last Republican to even think about giving anybody reparations. So it wasn't because Obama was this or Obama was that. I don't even fucking like Obama. To be honest with you, that he's not my favorite dude, man. Like, seriously, just got to keep it focused. You just got to this conversation 8 years at best. And that's how lineage and delineation and these conversations crept in, along with the rising tide of immigration and the rising tide of people from Africa and the Caribbean that could be confused and added to our reparations claim. We agree, but we're not going to make up some shit that sounds crazy. That's how you peel off people like me who agree with y'all on lineage by putting all this extra shit. Keep it simple, and you'll get a bigger tent of people that's coming to your team that'll fuck with you. Make it all complicated, make it all weird and shit. People ain't fucking with that.
Well, I mean, Shepard, I think you're in agreement with everybody else too. Like everybody's saying, if there was no Haitians, Jamaicans, Africans, anybody else over here in 1880, of course, when people talk about reparations, it's going to be strictly race-based. So I get what you're saying on that. Yeah, I get what you're saying on that issue. But at the same time, Black Americans always assume that, hey, if reparations come, that we as Black Americans are going to get reparations. I'm sure they didn't really think about it at the time. Like, yeah, well, including this person, this group, that group, that group. They assume that those who were actual slaves in the country were going to be the first people to actually get reparations. They thought that reparations was strictly for them. So I get what you're saying, and I get what they're saying too. Like, yeah, if there's no immigration, if you're the only black face in the actual country, you're the ones that descend from slavery, it makes sense that you don't have to talk about lineage based, because at that time, everybody that was black in the country for the most part was descendants of slaves. So yeah.
I said that first. I was the first one who said that.
They just
repeated what I said.
So I get what you're saying, that, okay, 8 years ago, they delineated this and that, but, whether it was 8 years ago, whatever, you're right. I mean, we know people like Dr. Claude Anderson always talked about reparations for Black Americans, but you're right.
It's just that the word Black Americans became so broad 8 years ago, because now we have Africans and South Africans could say they Black American, they're African Americans. So that word we really started taking a closer look. All right, now who needs to be first online? Dr. Weber cleared it up in AB 3121. She's a Pan-African. She said, no, fuck that. Black Americans have to be first in line.
I'd just like to say this. At this point, to make a claim for reparations on race is obviously fatal to a claim. We had Erwin Chemerinsky, a legal scholar, a constitutional scholar, who came in and said any claim based on race would make reparations dead on arrival, okay? So as a result, myself and several other reparationists met with him, and he said, your best bet is to make this a lineage-based reparations claim. And although he did not come right out and say it, he said, I believe that you all deserve it, and I believe that it should be based upon based upon lineage. And so anybody attempting to say that we should get reparations based on race is presenting an argument that is hurtful to us and does not help our reparations was that it was to go to folks of their lineage. That is who they were speaking of, although they didn't say it, because that's who was here at that time. And to say race kind of conflates this whole thing and makes it be about any and everybody. And so you have Black immigrants at this point saying, I was stopped by the police, so therefore I deserve reparations. That is a harm-based claim. A harm-based claim opens this up to everybody and their mama, and that is problematic. And I'll land on that. Thank you.
I agree with everything you said, sister. And like I say, the only thing that I think Shepard was trying to say, okay, back then there was no immigrant, and we get that there was no immigrants in the actual country, or no immigrants of any real number. So yeah, people didn't say lineage based because 99% of Black people in the country was Black Americans. But as time has progressed since the 1960s, we know that's no longer the case. So you have to go ahead and delineate. You have to go ahead and have a lineage based reparation movement, just so the actual people who are the actual descendants of slaves in this country who built the country and stuff can actually get there. So you're right. Just because somebody is a victim of racism does not entitle you to reparations. So it's strictly for those people that were descendants of slaves. And so I get what everybody's saying here. It's just the fact that we're kind of like adding different time periods in and stuff like that. We know back in 1900, what was the Black population in this country. We know after 1965, 1970, 1980, things start to drastically change. Since things start to drastically change, and I get what you're saying that the reparations, when people start first talking about it, this and that, it was just race-based. Of course it was race-based because 99% of Black people in this country were Black Americans descended of slaves, but that's no longer the case. At least 10% of the population at least is from different places. So we have to go ahead and say, okay, this is strictly for Black Americans who are descendants of slaves in this country. That's not to say that.
I just disagree with you on one point, Choda.
What's that?
What the sister said, and the sister trying hard to be antagonistical towards me. And we saying the same thing, sis. I love you, sis. You're my sister. I ain't trying to argue with you or nothing. Yo, we saying the same thing. Look, so the only thing I got to say is exactly what the sister says. So harm-based reparations, right? Which there has been harm to other Black people that is not non-American. Maybe they can trace their lineage in America to only 100 years, or maybe 75 years. Well, 75 years was before the Civil Rights Act, so they were getting their ass beat and hung and lynched too. Nobody who did harm to the secondary claim of reparations for non-lineage based Black Americans asked them if they were other. Right? So there were harms to other people. All we're saying, and this is where y'all have this thing where you don't give a fuck about anybody else but Black Americans, and that's where we our roads.
Wait. Right? Well, I gotta kind of well, go ahead, because I gotta kind of get you on that. Go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead. Go ahead.
These brothers and sisters that were only here 75 years have a secondary claim. That's all in the same line as us, but it's a second line. We're in the front of the line for our lineage-based claim, but they do have a secondary claim for the harms inflicted on them by fucking racist America, because they have paid their taxes, they have become citizens, they have poured into the American way. We have leaders that are not of our lineage that have given everything in our fight for American, to be Americans. So they're the secondary claim. We get our money, we get our reparations, we get our shit. Now we have to support their secondary claim. That's all I'm saying.
Well, hold on. Let me come in here because, they have a secondary claim after our secondary claim. Because, see, here's our first claim is slavery. Our second claim is then Jim Crow, and also everything that went on after Reconstruction as well. So I'm not sitting here saying that there wasn't some Black people in this country that didn't go through harm from racism and this and that. I'm saying before there can be anything about any reparations to any other group, and you and I, we're in agreement with this. First, it has to be Black Americans. First, Black Americans for slavery. Hold on, let me finish. First, Black Americans for slavery, then Black Americans for what happened after Reconstruction and Jim Crow, and then we can start talking about all the other stuff for Black Americans running damn highways through their community and gentrifying them and everything and this and that, everything else. We can also, since a lot of these also Black people, and I get what you're saying that a lot of them 70 years, well, the vast majority of them wasn't here 70 some years before actual Jim Crow or civil rights movement. The vast majority of our Black immigrants in this country came from the 1960s onward, 1965 onwards. A lot of them came 1980 onwards, if we're going to be absolutely honest here. So it wouldn't be hard at all to see which ones, and they could pull their paperwork out. It wouldn't be hard at all to see which ones came during those time periods and stuff like that. And yeah, they could go ahead and get that justice and everything else, but it cannot be tied to us. The only thing that could be tied to that, if you had someone that was over here doing Jim Crow or whatever, and that would be a very small percentage of them that was here doing Jim Crow. So if they were here doing Jim Crow and they got lynched and this and that, yeah, I get what you're saying or whatever. And also getting back to our leaders and this and that, yeah, we had some leaders and stuff from the diaspora and stuff that, rocked with Black people and did that. But the overwhelming majority of our leaders were Black Americans. Now, we both know that. Yeah, we had some great leaders that were from different places, and we respect those people, and we give those people much love and much respect for those who really held it down or whatever. But the vast majority of our leaders were actually Black Americans. Anybody want to add to that?
Everything you said, Newstoter, was 100, man, and everything is based on us first. Our claims are first. Everybody else have to take a second to the back. That's all I have to say about it. It's got to be about us, and that's the way I feel about it. That don't mean that I don't want to see the other Black people get theirs, but Black Americans got to get ours, because we the group that's been left out of everything, and we was in this country for over 400 something years, people, and they have always tried to keep things away from us. So our claims got to be before anybody else, no doubt about that.
And I will add this here too. What meager resources we did have in this country, we shared them with other Black people. Whatever meager resources we had in this country, we shared them with our Black people from the diaspora. We didn't sit up here and we didn't attack them when they got off the boat. We didn't go ahead and we didn't try to run them through the ground like the Irish did, the other Irish and Italians and stuff like that. Talk about y'all don't belong here. Yeah, I'm sure you had arguments and you had some people in the Black community that did not want them here. But for the most part, we went ahead and we looked out for our people, and whatever meager resources from them living next to us, to them eating with us, to them going to school with us, everything else we shared with our black diaspora brothers and sisters and cousins and this and that. So we are definitely we definitely first and foremost in that line. Straight up.
Yo, they was exotic to us. You remember West Indian Archie from the Malcolm X, the way he talked, the way he was right up in Harlem with everybody else, but he was different. We knew West Indians was different. We knew they wasn't Black Americans, so to speak, but they was our brothers just like anybody else. They just blended in just like everybody else. It just was. That's just how we get down. We welcome everybody first. Everybody, man. We one of the most welcoming and loving people on this planet, and we just get a bad rap because when we mad, we real mad. Yo, y'all talk about Tommy Tuberville already?
Yeah, we talked about old Tommy Tuberville. We had to talk about this dude here.
So you know that's one I had to put my 2 cents in, man. Being that I'm from Auburn University, man, I had to talk about that one.
Man, catch me up, yo. Catch me up.
Oh, you didn't hear about Tommy Tuberville and his little racist rant about Black people and reparations? Shepard, you didn't hear that story? I wonder, Shepard, we might have lost Shepard.
No, but Shepard made a good point too. Oh, go ahead, Shepard.
Yeah.
Nah, shit. What do y'all say? I made a good point. I want to hear this shit.
No, we was I was saying, did you hear about the thing going on with Tommy Tuberville? Ray said you made a good point. Ray, what did you say he made a good point about?
No, it was just gonna be real quick. I was just gonna say that our good heart has come to be our downfall at the same time. Because like you said, we're always looking out for everybody else. But then when we need help, we're standing at the, looking at each other with nothing.
Okay, I mean that's one way to look at it. If you look at the Jumbotron, I put some content with Tommy Tuberville up there with his stupid ass. When Trump came in office, man, listen, a lot of people saw that as a negative, right? I looked at it like, finally, these motherfuckers gonna really say what they really think. Let them all out. Like, I want to see all cut the grass. Finally. Then when Charlottesville happened, I was like, yeah, finally, we get a chance to put pause on these motherfuckers. 1-on-1, 3-on-2, whatever. We need to be up in Charlottesville. So we went, and we got to put pause on these motherfuckers. Then, after January 6th and the election and all this other racist shit, we got to see these white cops wearing T-shirts. I can breathe. These motherfuckers releasing Mike Brown video that he might have stole a candy bar before he even before he's even mourned. We seen what they fucking did about some Skittles and motherfucking hoodies and how they choking niggas out. I want to see this shit. This shit what we need. This what creates soldiers. So in the reparations movement, I was like, why is niggas quiet right now? You see right now that you need to go hard at Republicans and make them feel your wrath. But I ain't really seeing a lot of content from reparationists about no Tommy Tuberville. And this nigga called all reparations criminals. He said, these motherfucking reparationists is criminals. The fuck this nigga's not going at his neck for? Like, he should be trending every day from reparation. The biggest accounts should be fucking flooding the internet with his name just so reparations stay in the fucking mainstream conversation. Niggas is posting highway signs and all this other shit. Stacey, that shit don't make no difference. If you a fucking reparationist, this an opportunity to keep this nigga name in the mainstream. Make this nigga apologize. Flood this nigga. Call for his resignation. Make reparations call for college and radio stations to step down. I want to see the same motherfucking soldierism and energy for Tommy Tuberville. And if I don't see that shit, I'm calling you the fuck out.
Oh, Shepard.
Wait. Hold on 1 second, Shepard, because you can see the title of the space. I tweeted out Tommy Tuberville earlier today and whatnot. So,
Nigga, not you.
yeah, I'm just saying, I ain't no big. I don't have no big platform, but we putting it out there. So.
Oh yeah. Newstoter been putting it out there. I've been putting it out there. I tagged Auburn University to it, and they did comment on it. Now they did like, I know, right? Yeah, hey, only thing they said though, Chef, they do the typical, short little thing, but they say his views doesn't represent our university, and we think what he said was just not right. It was something simple like that, and because they're not gonna go any further than that.
Oh no, fuck that little weak shit. We need to go at them like ADOS with that fucking Harvard smear. ADOS the ADOS Foundation did a great job making Harvard retract some of that statement. Fucking, that's the same energy, and this is I'm gonna say this. I'm a strategist. This is an opportunity for reparationists to coalesce together, no matter what we believe, the details, the tall grasses, whatever we believe, we need to come together and go at this nigga neck.
Now, Shepard, I'm gonna say one thing real quick. Now, one reason too that a lot of, and I know you're saying that if you're a real reparationist, that I get what you're saying, because I've been saying, don't think I haven't seen some of your tweets and stuff that you're pretty much implying that the reparationists go hard at the Democrats, but they have no smoke for the Republicans. Am I correct?
Newstoter, I think that.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I couldn't get on my mic fast enough. I walked away. Twofold. One, have we forgot to wage war in the Republican Party? And two, what's our strategy to get the votes in Senate we need to pass the only federal reparations bill? So that's the two questions, yeah.
Well, no, I'm just saying, based on what I asked you, though, but are you pretty much saying that, you feel that a lot of reparationists are going after the Democratic Party, but they don't have the same smoke for the Republicans?
Not smoke per se, strategy per se. The strategy to put pressure on the Dems, right? Let's take the word smoke out of it. Let's talk strategy. It works. So I think that's already a wrap. That's already sewed up. It's the only reparations bill we have is sitting at 160 votes. They're all Democratic votes, 0 Republican votes. So as a strategist, right, I say let's go after the Republicans and figure out how we can peel 10 senators or whatever the amount of votes that we need in the Senate from Republicans. So I'm just talking strategy, not really smoke.
Let me ask you a quick question. Since you're a strategist and whatnot, what could you? Just share with us here on the in the space or whatever. Is there any strategy that you feel that could work in terms of getting 10 Republicans to jump on board?
Yeah, there's a bunch, but unfortunately, reparations cut their own throats sometimes as far as the donors that you need to make things happen. In politics, money moves mountains. All right, so to seat a senator, you need 15 million. To seat a senator, you need 15 million. That's the average to seat a senator. To really fight a battle to seat a senator, you need 30 million. So somewhere between 15 and 30 million is how you replace a senator with a black reparationist senator. So the first issue is how do reparationists clean up their image so that they can be lineage-based reparationists in the mainstream and get mainstream money from these hedge funds and these type of corporations that donate to Black Lives Matter and all these fuck causes. So that's the first thing as far as strategy. The image cleanup got to happen pretty soon because you can't be a lineage-based fringe group and expect to get the type of money to seat a senator. Now, what is the outcome? Why do we need a senator? Well, we don't have enough Republican senators that will vote for reparationists. So basically, if you're a Republican and you believe in reparation and you believe in 2A, you believe in anti-abortion, believe in closing the borders and giving more opportunities to black people. If this is what you believe in, then you are closer to the Republican Party. If you believe trans issues are taking up too much time and we're not talking about black empowerment, then you're closer to the Republican Party. So we need to figure out how do we take the Republican reparationists who aren't claiming to be Republicans, and how do we find a way to seat them as who they really truly are to the issues that they are. So we need 10 Republicans that will vote for reparations, whether they're black or white. So 10 times 15 million is how much? 10 times 30 million is how much? So this is the game that we're in when you're talking about votes. So that's one strategy. What do Republicans want to happen more than ever? They want to take control of shit. So if 30% or 40% of black Americans moved over to the Republican Party and it was even, then you'd have leverage over Republican reparationist votes, because then you'd have something to say, hey, we voted for you, now you need to pay us back, and we're not going to vote you in anymore. Or the people, once you move over and you voted into office, now they do what you asked them to do because you've shown that you have a voting bloc in the Republican Party. So those are just two strategies, but that's big money. It takes money. So that's just two strategies.
Okay, brother. I definitely appreciate that. I'm not going to hold you guys too much longer. We've been going on for close to a couple hours. I appreciate everybody coming out to the actual Twitter space tonight, and make sure you guys catch us tomorrow night. You can always catch Newstoter in our Twitter spaces Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We live stream this, so we're going to be trying to live stream it also on YouTube as well to try to build up the actual YouTube following. So you guys, if you're not subscribed to Newstoter on YouTube, please make sure you go ahead and subscribe to us. I appreciate all you guys coming in and sharing some very insightful knowledge with the actual space tonight. It was a pretty good conversation as always. I appreciate you guys coming in so much. My man DJ got locked out of his account, y'all, so we got to see what's up with DJ. He wasn't able to make it in tonight. He got locked out of his account, so he done went through about 20 accounts in the past couple of months, so hopefully hopefully
Yo, what's up with his social media skills?
I don't know, man. Hopefully they ain't go ban the account again like they have been doing. So hopefully we can get DJ back up in here again into the Twitter space. Ray, y'all, you missed the Twitter space it had Saturday, man. I was looking for you. I was like, damn, Ray must be busy or whatever, but
no, I didn't know anything about it because because you said your station was Monday through Thursday, so I wasn't looking out for one on Saturday.
Yeah, I thought I sent you a reminder, but maybe you didn't get it. But I was like, well, damn, I don't see Ray. But it was a pretty good space, though, man. It was a pretty good space.
Wait, don't be scared. Tell Tony he was tired of that.
No, it's not that. I just didn't know. Like I was like, what? I think I was out with my kids on Saturday.
Okay, yeah. So you were doing
I'm gonna be having you under pressure, yo. Why you wasn't in my space, yo? Fuck that.
Nah, ain't nothing like that. But I know that. I mean, hey, the weekend, man, you get busy and stuff like that. So trust me, I definitely understand that and whatnot. So I definitely, it was nothing. It wasn't nothing that big, man. It was damn, I forgot what the space was even on. I was about to say what it was on, Ray, too.
About the state police in China or something like that.
Okay, yeah. It was about the Chinese having a police department here in New York City, man. That's what it was about. Yeah. So yeah, that was a good.
I missed that. I hate I missed that, man.
Y'all, the recording is on Twitter, y'all. So if y'all missed it, y'all definitely go ahead and check the recording out. It was a good space.
No, this thing got this shit recorded, man.
Yeah.
Tony is the content creator. You ain't never gonna miss none of it.
Right.
I was gonna ask you because I came out a little late myself. Touch on the fact that there's Columbus Day.
Yeah, it ain't Columbus Day for me. I know that much.
You know, using air quotes when I say that, right?
The Columbus, he can go to hell, as far as I'm concerned. Please.
Yo, you seen that video of the Bahamas dude taking down the Columbus statue with the sledgehammer?
Oh no, I ain't see that.
I thought that was from a couple years ago.
Oh, okay, maybe it was. I just seen it today.
Yeah, I ain't see.
They did it a couple years ago. They tore that shit down. I was happy too.
Yeah, it ain't like he deserved to have no statue up there, no way. So.
Exactly.
Please,
But news, I want to definitely add this in too. Before I know you're ready to shut down, but today is the birthday of Kendrick Johnson. If y'all don't know, that was the boy that he was found rolled up in a gym mat in his old high school, which happened to be my old high school down in Valdosta, Georgia. Today is a dude's birthday, man. Lowndes County is to this day still covering that up. I mean, it's a whole mess. The boy was buried without his organs. He was stuffed with newspaper. They exhumed the body to get a second autopsy. And he, like I said, missed his fingernails and all this other stuff. A big investigation. I'm really close with the family. I used to go to church with Kendrick's auntie. So, you know, it's obviously still affecting the community, man. But I'm still trying to keep their brother's name and story out there so it doesn't fade away.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna tweet something, man.
Yeah, I retweeted that out earlier, man. I saw that somebody, I forgot one of the people had sent me that, but yeah, you know, I'm down here in Tally too. So they talked about that on the local news, man, for years, and no justice ever came for this kid's family and whatnot. So heart still goes out. His family never received any justice, anything like that. So yeah, definitely.
Was the father or FBI agent or judge or something? That's why
his father was an FBI agent. That is 100% correct. Oh, is that DJ?
Yeah, he coming like he about to come in at the very tail end of it, like. He about to come in at the very tail end of everything and whatnot, man. Like quite the conversation that we had. But yeah, man, Kendrick, like Ray said, it was in Valdosta. I'm here in Tallahassee, man. They talked about it. Nobody knows. They act like nobody knows what happened to the poor kid and whatnot. Family never received any justice, anything like that. So, Shepard, on the side note, man, we trying to put together an investment space as well too. So I'll keep you posted on that or whatever. So we trying to get an investment with a couple people doing investments and stuff like that of that nature. So once we go ahead and get that scheduled, we want to have another business investment space. People can learn about investing and whatnot. So I'll keep you posted whenever that happens.
Do that.
Yeah. But no doubt. DJ, man, I see you just got up in the space, man.
Yeah, what's good, everybody? Black people, Newstoter, reparations up, fuck Twitter, nigga.
We were teasing DJ. We said you came here just in time to give you final thoughts.
It's like power.
Let me put my bars. Hey, yo, fuck Twitter, fuck Jack Dorsey. I'm on the building. Can't stop me. I'm saying one, nigga. You copy? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, dude, you see this one? This is why Twitter stays suspended right here. When you listen to DJ, just waiting on you.
Oh, yeah, you already know, man. At the end of the day, they can't stop the God. You already know. But, hey, look, Twitter don't understand the difference between talking to somebody and context purposes. So They banning everything from fucking black to Negro to niggas talking to each other now. That's the new one. Niggas talking to each other about some shit. Ban that nigga.
Damn.
Yeah, that's what that's why you got to get your own.
Don't it belong to Elon now? Cause Jack gave it up, didn't he?
I think Elon's supposed to be buying it.
Elon ain't buying. Yeah, I actually just tweeted Elon, don't buy this app. They anti-black, and there's a bunch of bots on here. If you want to invest in a real app, Elon Musk, aka Tesla, homie, come on up to social media. We doing big things over here. You know what I mean?
I got a letter from the government the other day. I read it. It said it was sucker.
You know what I'm saying? Word. No.
But yeah, y'all, we're gonna be back tomorrow night. So y'all make sure. I have no idea what the conversation's gonna focus on, but just know 8:00 p.m. Eastern time, we will definitely be here. DJ, you got something you want to add?
I don't know, DJ kind of hot, Newstoter. I don't know.
I see.
Hold on 1 second. My bad. I'm trying to post to the damn Jumbotron and shit. Yeah. So with that being said, right, Shepard? So I started a little community over in our music group. Come on up to social, and it's called what you call it? Dad, what do you call it? The Public Professor. That's what I named it after Public Enemy and Professor Grip. So come on up to the community. If y'all got some intellectual hip hop wise to say, or some documentary on some Professor Grip shit, KRS, you already know. We don't need these mother Vicky Fickies. I ain't gonna curse no more. It is what it is. We can just go and do our own thing. So Kanye, I don't understand what you're complaining about, son. No, man, son, you got $1 million. You could go build your own shit. Stop begging these jokers. You know what I'm saying? I'm out.
Yeah, y'all. So we'll definitely get up with you guys tomorrow. Y'all have a good night. Everybody make sure you come through and make sure y'all tweet out the spaces when you come through. So we'll see you guys tomorrow, and everybody have a good one.
Get in that Jumbotron real quick. Enjoy y'all night, though. Get in the Jumbotron.
All right. Good night, y'all.